Good morning. Happy Monday to everyone. Hope you had a great weekend. Lilia from Heal Scotland and Scotland Wild Medicine here. And today I have Kaz Conville with me from Elevation Soul Sanctuary, and we are going to be discussing the Hebridean Healing Centre. Kaz, how you doing?
I'm great. I'm so looking forward to this.
Oh, it's coming together like an absolute dream. It's like, wow. Yeah. And I'm excited to be in Skye because it's such a incredible place, landmass, isn't it? I mean, it's just it's everything that you want.
Absolutely stunning. And even just from the venue, from the head,
I know.
looking at the door. So it's not even as if you have to go very far. It's not as if you're kind of inland, tucked away and hidden.
Uh-huh. I
It's
know. I know.
incredible.
Right on the beach. And Arisig sauna boys are coming with their beautiful sauna. So we'll be able to get hot and cold and hot and cold. So yeah, it's so Kirsten's put a page up on the website around it. We don't have the full program yet, but that's coming very soon when everybody gets their dates and the start dates, the finish dates. But obviously the other exciting thing that we're doing that, as far as I'm aware, nobody's really ever done before, apart from this is the first ever pop-up healing centre, we are going to be streaming some of the courses out live to everybody in the world to get this information to the people that are really desperately in need of it. So I'm really excited about that as well. And a lot of the stuff that we do is very private and can be very emotional and pretty sacred. So it's nobody that's coming needs to worry that they're going to be on Facebook. That's not what we're going to do. It's for the teachers and the healers that are there to be able to explain to the people that can't get to the centre what it is they do, why it is they do it, what results and benefits you can get from it. And what we're wanting to do is get people to come together in their homes, in their studios, in their centres, and get together and join in on these courses live, so that we're creating these little satellite centres all over the world where people can access this phenomenal information. So it's pretty exciting, and it's really going to be up to everyone what they do with that. So can you talk us through what happens on your week-long sanctuary?
Yeah. So it's really great that we've got that full week, because what I'm finding more and more is that the shorter breaks away are great, and you start to feel good because you're around like-minded people who are also wanting to heal themselves, to be very self-aware, to take responsibility for themselves and their life. And it feels great. It feels like how life should be. And then you go back and things unfold really quickly, or you're not really there because it takes that long for you to settle in, and then you're thinking about going home. So we've got this full week, and it's really time. It's going to be in winter, the depths of winter in February. So it's that perfect time for rest and reflect and thinking about just what's going on for you, because we don't often get time to do that. We can journal, we can do the meditations, we can do courses and all of the rest of it. But when do we really give ourselves that big chunk of time to work on ourselves and to get really clear about things and to think about what's going right in our life, what we want more of, what things are repeating quite often, and you're kind of like, why is this happening again? We're giving ourselves the time to be able to reflect on the stories we're telling ourselves. What's going on with our health? What's going on with our happiness? How are we enjoying our life? How are we contributing to society? How are we being human? Like, are we actually being human, or are we just continuously doing stuff and finding ourselves completely wiped, feeling ill, feeling drained, and just not really like not feeling like how we know that life is supposed to be. So when we come together,
Sorry, let me get this off. Yeah.
So the whole thing about the Elevation Soul Sanctuary is we've got to connect, create, and elevate. Before we can even connect, so connect to ourselves, to our inner wisdom, to each other, society, to life. There's kind of almost an acknowledging needed where you are currently, and recognizing where you might need to disconnect. And when people first get there, they're kind of like, you've had your travel, you've had all of the stress of sorting everybody else usually before you get away for a week. And you get there and you just need this time to decompress, to disconnect really from everything that's familiar and known in your life for long enough for you to kind of go, right, I'm here, I can settle in, let's do this. Because when I leave in a week's time, I want to go away with some tools, some feeling different. I want to have shifted some beliefs. I want to have some practices to put into place that will help me to definitely take action and put all of these principles that I've learned, because you'll have learned some before you even get there, but sometimes we're just not applying them. We know what to do, we're just not doing it. So having all of these things there, and you know that what you want to do is leave that week with some kind of, well, not some kind of, like that absolute knowing that you can change your life however you want to change it. So when we first get there, kind of that first day, so mine's kind of Sunday to Sunday, so that first day will be kind of settling in, setting the tone for that, setting our intentions, having a bit of a heal, and just arriving on that first day, getting to know each other a bit. And then we're going to spend some time, first and foremost, creating an inner sanctuary. So what I mean by that is just really getting to know yourself and getting to trust yourself. Because what I've observed over years really is that we all are remembering the truth of the human story, is that we actually need each other. We need the communities. We can't do it all alone. And we have this deep need for belonging. But if we don't feel like we can trust ourselves, or there's some conflict within us, then how are we ever going to trust anybody else? How are we ever going to lean on anybody else when the going gets tough? Because we've got all of these stories going on about who we are in relation to other people, how we don't belong, how we're wrong, how other people have more power over us, or how they have more knowledge, or they know what's best for us. And we lose touch with who we are, with our essence. And so I feel like really spending some time getting in touch with yourself, with what's going on for you at any given moment, and being able to shift that. Because if you're feeling really low, or you're really struggling, or you're feeling like you've failed somehow because you've been and had this week, and you get back to everyday life, and it's really easy to slip back into the old ways, and you're kind of like, oh, I said I wasn't going to do this. I knew, I know what I'm supposed to do. I said I wasn't going to do this. I'm back to the way I was. Nothing's changed. That was a total waste of a week. And you get into that state, and there's almost a feeling like you can't reach out to even the other people that might have been there, because there's this feeling of, I'm a failure, let me down, wrong. So I think it's really important that at the start of the week, we create these ways of being and this inner sanctuary where you can start to really take responsibility for yourself, be honest with yourself in a loving way, but also not kind of believe your own excuses, your own nonsense, because we're all really good at doing that, and finding something else to do instead. I'm putting my hand up.
Don't you think though that this is an age-old problem for anybody who's trying to change? Whether it's from alcohol, whether it's from cigarettes, whether it's from gambling, whether it's from food, whatever. When you go back into your old environment where all your problems kind of started, because everybody's doing pretty much, you'll probably be in a crowd where you're all kind of doing the same things. And that's the real importance of the new tribe. And I'm not saying ditch all your old friends, obviously, but we know if we're hanging around with people that inspire us and motivate us and are doing the same things, we're just much more likely to do it. And that's a basic premise. And that's, I think, the thing that we, instead of beating ourselves up and saying, well, why don't you keep up the swimming? Just join a group and go, and you'll be inspired by each other. Same with the letting go, same with whatever it is that we're doing, eating healthily. You know, what Janice has created, that lovely wee hub in the wellness hub, you know, for food, for keeping people inspired. And, you know, Sharon's doing it with the Warrior Water Woman, Gary's doing it with mindfulness. You know, everybody's doing their, when you realise that this really works for me, so now my only challenge is to repeat it every single day. Because, and it's the same with the frequency, the techno spa, it's the repetition. The body doesn't change. You don't get drop 4 stone by eating a cucumber. You know, it's the repetition of eating certain foods that will help you to be the desired weight. And then it's the maintenance of that. So it's always ends up being about the maintenance. And there's loads of people can make you feel at peace very quickly. But then how do you maintain the peace? How do you maintain the non-reaction? How do you maintain the no blame and shame and complaining? Like we were just talking about before we came on, which is actually, you can eat all the great food in the world, but if you're down on others and complaining and comparing and competing, it's the wrong stress hormones that you're flooding into the body, and you're just ferment all the great food that you ate anyway. So it's been a complete waste of time spending all that time. So the mind really is the thing, isn't it? And that's Claire and I found the same thing. People could arrive on the Friday night and leave on the Sunday, and to be honest, they've really only had one day. You know, so we were like, that's not enough to teach people about Scotland's wild medicine and the experience. This is how you can feel. And then, as you say, you know, it's the maintenance of it when you go home. And we can only do so much. And this is why we have to change what's prominent in the community so that you can say, right, I need to go and breathe, I need to go and swim, I need to go and knit, I need to go and sing. Whatever it is that's on in your community, we're having to replace our vibrant pub culture with something else because everything's closing and shutting down. So what are we going to do about that? And that's the big thing. We can take people away and give them a phenomenal time. And you and I both know a lot of people want to run away from that when you get to go, well, it's all about you, self-responsibility. And it's like, and it can scare people. So we're doing work that goes right into the subconscious and really, really helps people to literally delete a lot of the old files out of their hard drive. So they're a different person, but then it still comes back to the maintenance. You know, are you letting go? Are you tapping? Are you breathing? Are you hanging out with other people that don't blame, shame, complain, and gossip all day? That's why we, with the healing and getting these courses out to everyone, we want to start really planting huge, big seeds so that we can really help people to understand. You know, as my mum always used to say, fly with the crows, you'll get shot with the crows. If you're with the people that are doing the stuff that you're trying to stop doing, you will inevitably, from quantum entanglement, end up, you know, doing the old stuff. So there's nothing wrong with you. That's a completely normal thing that pretty much every human does. So just being aware, it's not that you're got no willpower or low self-esteem, etc. It's just that put yourself in a position, understand. You touched on that earlier about the neuroscience. I think it's incredibly helpful for people to understand how you can lay down new neural pathways and how some days you won't want to. That, you know, like me, I've been walking these dogs over the last couple of months. It's been the best thing for me. I would never have been out there in the rain and at that time in the morning because I would have had something more important to do. So you find a way to make yourself do it until it becomes that comfortable habit. Raya, come here. Sorry, that's the postman at the door. Come here, guys. Raya, come here, darling.
Yeah, that's it's all about your energy and how much energy.
Sorry for the internet.
It's always going to happen. The postman will come. There'll be a delivery.
I know. Sorry about that. It's the postman.
No, that's fine.
Right.
Yeah. It takes so much energy, and it's when you're there and you're with everybody else where it feels a lot lighter and it feels more expansive. It's easy to do these things, but go back home when you're with everybody who's swimming this way and you're trying to go that way. The resistance is so much more. So we're going to spend that full week thinking about considering the neuroscience, considering seasons and cycles, and how we can actually harness the power of them rather than trying to go against them, and get really attuned to ourselves. And again, goes back to that responsibility. Take responsibility, but also to do it all with a bit of humour, because we are human, and we are going to have days where we'll go out and we might end up at the pub and end up with a 2-day hangover afterwards. And you're like, I knew that was going to happen. I wish I hadn't done that. But actually, sometimes it does you good to go and have that kind of, time. It's like you were saying, you haven't got to completely go away. It's not like everybody and everything in your life's going to need to make space for you. It's that you need to make space for you, and you have to be responsible for how you're going to create and how you're going to inspire others to do the same. Because what I'm finding is a lot of people have kind of an over responsibility. So if everybody took responsibility for themselves, it would be fine. But we spend so much of our energy trying to make sure that everybody else is all right. But actually, it's a bit of a change for people when you get home and you start going, well, I'm going to make time for going for these walks, or for doing me journaling, or for just creating me day. And they're just like, well, you're doing this for me. So of course they're going to feel a bit put out by it. But once it becomes a habit, like you're saying, it's a repetition thing, and that's just you now. Surely there's inspiration there for other people. They kind of, that's what it is. Do you know, there's one of the girls from she's been on every elevation now, actually. And she said that her daughter, she said she was going to see me, and she went, is that the lady who teaches you how to be happy?
Brilliant.
I want to do something like that. And I'm like, yeah, that's what it is. It's about, so she's obviously observed change in her mom, and she's like, when you do these things, you come back and you're a different person, you're a happy, and I want to be like that. But do it easy in my families, in my workspace, when we be there.
I know, and I think that's, at Troon yesterday, I thought, it was a Sunday afternoon, it's a phenomenal big venue, and I thought, well, what else would you rather be doing? It's different in the summer when the weather's nice and you want to be outside, but, what a fantastic kind of winter event where you can go along and learn all these things. And of course, one of the big things, the same in your retreats, is the people you meet and the connections that you make. Because I think we're pretty lucky. We've got a big, strong tribe of people, like-minded people who are, on the same lines. But not everybody has that. Some people are still stuck very much in the kind of 3D dinosaur mentality of you're powerless and you need other people to give you... Sorry, I'm going to get out of here because that dog's driving me nuts. So, let me just... Get away from her. His marking. So that's somebody had said to me, I think it was John Angus, we were talking about, the pub culture dying, and saying, well, we have to create something new. And, the same with Kaylee's, which obviously we always do at our festival, which I absolutely love. These are the things that, you didn't think I'm going to the gym. You just went and did social, fun, active things. And you were killing about 20 birds with the one stone, rather than having to separate everything up. We need to eat well, we need to move, we need to be nice, we need to, it's just like, no, just go out and, your community is your immunity. But it's also then, it's that ability to take responsibility for your reactions, your programming, your stories, the labels and the concepts and the biases that we all have. And how do we live in harmony with each other? And how, because politics inevitably comes into it. And it's almost like there's this competition. It's not, we compete against each other's bodies, slimmer, fatter, stronger. It's crazy. How did we get here? And now we're spending all this time having to kind of undo it. But again, it comes back to the community. Find a like-minded tribe and have a laugh when you're doing it. It's got to be fun.
Yeah. There's no point otherwise, is there? If you can't humor. It just becomes very it becomes too hard to do. So you can have the awareness, you can look into all the neuroscience and epigenetics and all of the wisdom that we've got around us, all of these things that are available to us. But if you're not doing it in a way where it makes sense, it feels fun, it feels lighter, it's going to be challenging because you're changing something. You're making a different choice to what you usually take. So it's going to be a challenge for a while. But how you feel afterwards, when you just feel like I look back, sometimes when people ask me to tell me story and I tell the story and it doesn't feel like me. It feels like I'm telling a story about somebody else because that's not me now.
Yes, I know. And, they say that's why some people move away. They do much better because they move away from the kind of, if you've had a bit of a dodgy past, put my hand up. People can't ever let you change. They still think of you as that old person and act and say things, and and you're just kind of like that. That's not relevant in any shape or form, and that's why it can be very healthy to get away to another country, another place where people can actually just see you as you are now. And they know that people that emigrate can often be much more successful because they're not held back by these stories. But obviously there's always pros and cons of every single thing. But so let's talk about the Hebridean healing. So people can obviously, it's not live yet, but we'll be able to book very soon to come on your retreat. And the other thing that we're talking about that's very important for people who live in Skye is that if there's things that people can come along for the day for, or maybe somebody could come and join your retreat for the whole week, but they don't have to sleep there. So because they live there. So there'll be an option for that, that people can, and there may even be one part of the course that they can come and just join in, something that we're streaming out live. So there's going to be lots of options for people to learn in a really easy, affordable way, because obviously we know bills have to be paid, but at the same time, with so many people sick, long COVID, autoimmune, ME, all the different labels and letters and POTS, these are, and neuropathy in the feet, that's another thing. I'm just every second person, vertigo, all of these things, people maybe not be able to work and not be able to afford it. And I'm really, really, I'm not keen that it's going to happen that people will be able to come for free if they can't afford to contribute, because it's the desire to get better. And, with things like the autoimmune things that are really rearing their ugly heads now, it takes months and months and maybe even years. There's that whole 2-year thing that the body can take in order for the ecosystem to rebalance, for the nervous system to calm down. So we know we're not going to fix everybody at the healing, but what we will do is give them the information, the help and the support in order to do that for themselves. So if you want to be fixed, it's not the place for you. If you want to learn how to fix your cells, then it absolutely is the place for you. And I think, like the kind of community and the willingness, what was really nice yesterday was seeing the amount of people that were out, that turned up and went in and tried all the different things. It was a free event, which is phenomenal, because I think education should be free. I think we used to just pass on our knowledge and our skills. My guitar teacher taught me for free because he said music should be shared. Not everybody, we think now it's all, because again, we have to pay bills, but our way of living has become like, well, you can't, I'm not telling you unless you pay me. And when it comes to health, we just can't have it that way. But we also have to have that open mind and that willingness to understand that the body is not a big meat suit. It's an electromagnetic energy ecosystem that does not get fixed by a pill. Maybe a pill can eliminate a symptom and help you through a hard time. I'm not even sure about that anymore, but maybe it can. But ultimately, it's going to have to be about us being the gardener of the tummy jungle.
Absolutely. A lot. We talk about this in the week. That we do. The Ayurvedic wisdom is all of that stuff. It's that garden that we've got. It's being that custodian of earth and that inner environment as well. But even in that, you know, the wisdom and the stuff that's shared in Ayurvedic wisdom is it makes complete sense, but not for the world that we're in now, not completely, because the soil's so depleted and the nutrients aren't in that food. So now we have to think of other ways that we can supplement what we're doing, or take out. How I know there's a lot of stuff. Oh, sorry, there's a lot of stuff we can't do anything about, you know, what's in the air and the chemicals in all of the food, and maybe we can't afford all organic and all of that, but there's ways that we can help each other with that. So like you're saying, in this community based living that we're working towards, it might be that there's people who are really great at growing. We've all got something to contribute, and we can get back to that. But the other thing about this wisdom is like, so when we have this week long, we're building a toolkit that's very bespoke and personal to you, that's going to help you to shift when you're getting stuck, when you get home after that week. So you've got a year-long online course that you get access to afterwards, which is based on seasons. So there's a monthly focus, which is there to really keep you on track, but not to overwhelm you. But even within that, there's some things that, you know, if it's winter and it should really be a time for deep rest, sometimes that's not possible. Maybe you're self-employed and your busiest time of work is in the winter. So how do you get around that? Mm-hmm. So I think it all goes back to that responsibility, having the knowledge and awareness, and just doing what you can, but trying to just create those small changes consistently. And the more you do that, the easier life becomes. And you just find that naturally, without you having to do anything, the new way of being is more accessible to you. And the old stuff's fallen away. And you do get to that point where it's just like, well, that wasn't really as hard as I thought it was. Because I was just applying what I knew to be right for me at that time. And the more that you do that, you can't judge yourself. Because I think there's something different in the judgments that we can make of other people, or worrying about what other people think of us. But more often than not, I think it's our own internal judgments when we're really hard on ourselves that set us back. I don't know if you find that.
Absolutely. The self-critic is, and it's really to just calm that mind and to stop judging anyone, particularly yourself. And, you know, I think I'm big picture, so I tend not to really notice what people are doing, or, you know, often. So, which is not always a good thing, but it can really be quite a good thing, because I don't, generally speaking, sweat the small stuff. And you need both. You need people that can, you know, check in the details, and you need people that don't care about the details. Because, you know, if you're too detail focused, then you're not going to be able, you wouldn't be able to perceive the big picture as us turning our health trajectory around in Scotland, which I absolutely know that we can do. It is 100% a potential in the field. Will we do it? You know, will enough people engage? Will enough people care? Are they well enough to even try? Because the way I see it is we need two things. We need education and information centres and community hubs where people can get supported. I met an amazing couple from a ear wellness centre, which I'm going to go down, and or ear healing centre, don't quote me on that, but they've set up this phenomenal space, and they have a whole load of stuff going on, and they're part of a community hub as well. So that's what we need, so that if you're feeling crap, you can get yourself along there and you know you're going to feel better. And if you have long COVID or something like that that's really debilitating and ruining your life, then you can, when the kids go to school, if they're in school, you can come there and be helped and supported, and just have company, because so many people live alone now. And, you know, they're going into a hospital and they're putting back to house by themselves. I mean, it's cruel, but we've kind of created this place that we're in right now, and we have to go, right, okay, this doesn't work. Nobody really wants to live in a house with 10 other people, but can we have our own homes but still have a very strong community area where we can all just hang out? And then obviously we need a residential place for people that really do need help and support, and that need great food and great nature and trees and all the stuff that we know can help you for free and with zero energy, grounding, all the things that can just help put energy back into the body in a really patient and loving way until people can then stand on their feet again. You know, it's I've been at 2 wellness events in the last fortnight, one in Lanark and one in Troon, and I'm hearing the same stories over again: neuropathy in the feet, vertigo, tinnitus, overwhelming, debilitating fatigue. And you know, we all know that since 2020, that's been a huge issue. Whether it's because you've taken medications or not, if just because you've had the infections, there's just been a straw in the last few years that's broken the camel's back, and people are finding it difficult to function. And you know, how can you be? This is what I don't get. I love RFK saying "Make America Healthy Again." I don't understand why politicians don't see that. Your bloody economy that you all care about so much would be far stronger if people were well, and not tired, and well paid, and there was somebody at home that could look after the kids and do the food and do the garden. Do you know what I mean? It's so bloody obvious what we need to do. We cannot have 2 people working to pay rent and electricity bills. That is a ludicrous model. Who wants to do that? Who would come to planet Earth for that? Not me, anyway. It's crazy. So this is the whole thing about the healing centres, just getting people really thinking, what are we doing? You know, like, the people I see suffering most now are the people that have paid into that system their whole lives, and they can't get a bloody scan now, you know, and they're paying for it because they've got some money. But you're just like, what? You politicians wouldn't even be there if these people hadn't worked their whole lives. It is a disgrace what is going on, but they're not going to fix it. We, the people, have to make the changes, and we need to stand up. And we need to realise that we're powerful, that the body can 100% heal itself. Hi, Joanne. And the more of us that understand and get that, and maybe you don't fully believe it now, but you would like to believe it, come along to the Healing Centre. We've also got an amazing raffle with quite tremendous prizes that you can help us raise money so that we can give people free places that really can't afford to come. It's not about the money, it's about the desire for change, the desire to be well. And within that, trusting that the body is going to rebalance and recuperate when you create the right internal and external environment. And the longer term goal is to have a healing oasis in nature where people can come and live and learn, primarily how to be in harmony with themselves and others. So yeah, a phenomenally exciting time in terms of what we can achieve. But you and I have got a brilliant week ahead. So I am so excited because I've been like so crazy busy, wall to wall, just events, meetings, dinners, whatever. It was only today, this is the first time I've come up for air. I'm really excited to go over to Barmolach, one of my most favourite places in the world. And then all you guys are arriving on Friday, and we're doing Veda's retreat for 2 days. And then we're into a 4-day retreat with me and Vida, with doing family constellations and fasting. And I've got an amazing amount of new stuff to bring to this retreat. So I'm super excited. Probably going to run it again in Skye as well, actually. And we're going to be taking food out the equation just to see what's really there underneath. And it's just going to be so much fun, and it's going to be so liberating. And I just can't wait to see how everybody feels on Thursday. And then I've got a week in Malta to look forward to. So that's nice. Brilliant. A bit of sunshine after that. Yeah. So if anybody's got any questions for Kaz, then pop them in to if you're watching this on replay, you can ask any questions and we'll follow up. Just to reiterate, the full programme and the ability to pay is not up yet. We'll hopefully be getting it up this week. So just please be patient with us. It's a lot of work. Please help us by buying raffle tickets or sharing the raffle with other people that you know would love these prizes. You can just donate if you feel it's something that you really want to see happen in Scotland. I really believe that we can lead the world in a new way to see, be, and perceive the body. But we need the energy of the people. It's not going to happen with my enthusiasm. It's only going to happen if everybody gets it and wants to see change in this crazy, corrupt, sick world that we've already created, but we can change it. There's always hope. So it's a fascinating and exciting time. And Kaz, I will see you on Friday.
Yeah, look forward to it.
Just come up any time. I'll be there over at the cafe. Just come over whenever you feel, whenever you arrive. And yes, guys, please help us by sharing. Share the event, share the website, share the raffle, like, comment, all the stuff that the algorithms like. We want to hear from you. What do you want? We've got a phenomenal lineup for you, but this is the first one of its kind. We're going to learn tons of it. So remember, we're learning. We need your feedback. Best food ever at Barmolach, I know, and they've got that beautiful biodynamic garden. Very, very excited. Oh, hi, Lisa, you were late. That's fine. You can watch it on the replay. Lots of great stuff about Kaz's soul elevation soul sanctuary retreat at the Healing Centre, Scotland's first ever pop-up healing centre in Skye. So look out for all the amazing stuff that's coming up. If you feel you could have your friends round and join in the courses, if you know people who'd be interested, we really, really need people to embrace this project and share and take action, because we don't need any more knowledge. We know what to do. Now we need to do it. That's all. Yeah, water cleanse is amazing. We are, this retreat's full this weekend, full to overflowing. And then, but I'm going to put another one on in Skye, which will be very similar. I'll get feedback from these guys because we're doing a lot of really, really cool stuff. And I know how great you feel when you fast, but to add in all this other stuff is going to be super exciting. It's a constantly evolving thing as we get lighter and lighter. We'll have the biofield viewer there to see how the light's moving, or the HRV there to see how the nervous system's coping. So yeah, great stuff. And it's all really new. So thank you all for joining and your comments, and huge love. And that's Joanne's booked in your retreat in November. Life-changing stuff. Fantastic. Yeah, that's it. It is like when you let go of the old, make way for the new. Phenomenal. Brilliant. Okay, Kaz, I'll see you Friday. Look forward to it. Have you got anything else you want to add before we?
No, I don't think so. I'll answer any questions when anybody comments on that thread, and I'll see you on
Fantastic
Friday.
Awesome. Ciao.
Bye.